what's up? It's your host, Torry, and who is ready to be petty? We're back with a very special guest. I'm going to give him the intro of a lifetime in a second. But Nick is back. The last time we chatted, we were talking about The Circle, seasonal allergies. I got a lot of aggression out in that episode. And of course, we have to get an update on his curling team, see if he's playing again this winter. But Nick had a very special request. He wanted his Vogue magazine article entry. So I'm going to do my best to provide that for him. If you haven't listened to the last episode of RTBP with Mo and Christina, we were chatting about how getting a little stale, how like every celebrity article talks about how they like entered the interview. Here is my best impression of my Vogue interview intro. It was a cold, blustery November morning. I clutched my scarf and my bag as I entered the hotel lobby and entered the elevator, nervous but excited for my day interviewing Nick. Got to his hotel room, knocked on the door. There was no answer. I got nervous and checked the time on my phone. I was surprisingly on time. I knock again and notice that the door is unlocked, so I let myself in. Nick, are you there? I see a shadow sitting in a chair in front of a window in a hotel white fluffy robe with dark sunglasses on. Like, Nick, it's Torry. I'm here for your Vogue interview article. And Nick, in his most hungover state, grumbles, I'm ready to. Okay, Nick is clapping. I don't know if the mic's gonna pick that up, but there you go.
That was amazing. Way to meet the word count, because you know that's what they're all trying to do. Like, how can we write as many words as possible to get a little bit more ad space on this page?
Yeah, and it's like you have to add in the like 7 unnecessary details about like the weather, what you're wearing,
The entry.
The entry into the space. But I do picture you if you were a celeb hungover because like we were just talking about going out and I don't know, just utilizing those those hotel bathrooms.
I feel like they don't get enough use, to be honest, and it's probably because we're like inherently nervous that the last person used them and we don't want like other people's skin touching the robe that's going to touch ours.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
That's disgusting. No. You're totally right. I feel like that's like a lot of things. Obviously, I know that everyone's had this conversation like with COVID, like, oh my God, remember when we used to like blow out birthday candles? Like, disgusting. But like, if you really think about a lot of stuff, like it is really fucking disgusting what we just like put up with.
And yeah, it truly is. Is that going to stop me?
No.
Celebrity version Nick would be wearing that robe.
But you would probably be, I don't know, maybe you'd be prepared for the interview. Who knows, celeb Nick. Nick, how are you doing?
I am doing, just above average, right? Like, the school year is in full swing. It's, fall's nice. I'm not a big fan of like the Halloween holiday, but I'm a big fan of like the Halloween season. So, I feel like I'm extremely busy, back to like, full time, everything's like going nonstop. And I guess it's like still trying to get my act back together to be like used to like, my normal routine. Yeah, I'm very happy that I carved out time on my very busy schedule for this one.
I know. I appreciate it as always. We haven't chatted on the pod in a while. I think since the spring.
Yeah, it's probably been since like April.
Yeah, something like that. You watched season 3 of The Circle. That's the last thing we talked about. I have not.
Fake
yeah,
fan.
I haven't.
Well,
I am.
We've learned this about you, and I think this podcast as a whole is going to reflect that today. That you don't like watching good content. Like, you're scared of quality television and quality movies. I feel like you have lower expectations for the content that you ingest, because then you don't have to like deep think about it. So it would make sense. It's why you watch The
Okay.
Circle 2, but not The Circle 3.
Okay. Read of my life. Like 10 minutes into this podcast. Yeah, 100%. I don't like thinking about stuff. I don't, I don't want to think about stuff because I'm an overthinker. And yeah, I also just really like watching TV that is just easily consumable. But that's what I thought The Circle was. But then I was like, after the January season, I think it was January or spring season, I was like, this is just too soon for a season. Like, I feel like you have to, with TV, it makes sense that there's like time in between seasons so you can like recuperate. That's why I haven't fucking watched The Bachelor in 3 years. It's like, I think there's been 2 full weeks off since January 1st of Bachelor
And
content.
Bachelor is never off. Like I haven't watched Bachelor in like 10 years. And I see that stuff on Twitter all the time because I have like reality TV
Oh,
like
yeah.
algorithm. And with The Circle, like
Yes.
I would consider myself like a fairly big fan of The Circle. Like I can like power through that
Me
show.
too.
I was shocked when all of a sudden people were talking about season 3. I was like,
Same.
okay, but they released one in like January of 2020, and then they didn't come back until like April of 2021. And now you're telling me there's
Yeah.
another season like in the pipeline? Like what the fuck? Oops, sorry, Tori's
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah. With zero, the other thing was that there was just zero marketing and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like I didn't like mentally prep
I feel like I'm
myself.
still seeing stuff from Jack, aka Emily, on my Instagram. Like we need to get
Same,
him off.
same. Okay. Or get him on the podcast. I messaged him. I was like, okay, I feel like I hope if he actually like ever messages me back, he doesn't like listen to this. But I messaged him and I was like, hey, do you want to talk about season 3 of The Circle? Because I was like, I feel like he's like a celeb that I could like get. Like,
Again,
because
low
it's
standards.
like yeah, low standard, but it's like okay. Low standards, but it's like you were on like Netflix's least famous reality TV competition show. You like were, I guess he was a main character, but like he was booted. Oh no, he made it to the finale. Yeah,
Forgettable
never
is
mind.
the word
Okay.
you're looking for.
Forgettable. Yes. Yeah. I guess it was like he was doing so well and then like just had such a crash and burn that I just like
Well, see, I would
don't
much rather
remember.
you get him than like Lisa, or honestly half those people from season 2. Like he's probably in the upper echelon of season 2 folks. So
Yeah.
good for him.
And I was like, he would be fun. Like, he would be fun. So I DM'd him and I was like, oh, he'll like at least probably respond. Nothing.
He thinks too much of himself.
I was like, how many podcast interview requests are you getting?
You're right.
like literally, I was like, okay, maybe he'll do Rob Has a Podcast like for their Circle season 3 coverage. Didn't see him appear on that, so I'm like, if you can't
He
I don't
wants
know.
like
So,
entertainment
anyways,
today.
yeah.
Or is it entertainment tonight?
Yeah.
ET. What does that stand for?
Entertainment Tonight.
Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I like it. Well, no, I think it's probably, I don't know. I watch ET Canada if I'm watching one of the two. Like, the other thing we chatted about was your curling team. Is it curling season yet?
So funny you bring that up because I was just looking earlier this week to kind of be like, okay, when do we have to pre-register? So curling season, like the 10-week full proper season, starts in January. But there is a
Oh.
7-week season. It's a real season. It like is legit, but it's like a 7-week thing instead of like a 10-week thing that starts, I think, the second Saturday in November. So I was just like internally debating with myself earlier this week if I was going to send that information out to my fellow dustpans. Uh, but I don't know if like you get this way, Tori, too. Like sometimes there's like a little bit of like anxiety of trying to like organize something, and like I don't want to be the one to like send this thing out to my friends and then them all be like feel like they have to say yes to like doing it, because I know that like November
Yeah.
and December are busy months with like the holidays. I mean, I know in Canada you've already had Thanksgiving, but like Thanksgiving is like coming up for us, and if that's like one of the Saturdays, and I know that like I have a few things going on Saturdays, and I'm just like worried of like too much like overlap in terms of like getting the whole dustpan crew back together. And I am cheap, So I do not want to pay for something if I'm going to be missing or like the team won't be able to make it for a few weeks. So stand by on that, but the dustpans will definitely be back in action come January.
Making the return January 2022.
Work it out.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
yeah.
t-shirts, the whole shebang.
Nice. Okay, well, I'm excited to hear updates about that. I like how you're like anxiety planning stuff. It's like, yeah, so I just don't plan anything. Like, I haven't planned anything in
I
years.
plan
Like,
stuff. I feel like I plan stuff all the time, and then like something happens where it's like, okay, well, you just dropped like four like grenades into this plan and have ruined all the hard work that I've done. So I guess just like whatever about me. And I feel like my
yeah.
like how like dynamite sticks have like the wick. Do they call that a wick? I feel like sure
Yeah. No,
rope
maybe.
the rope that was boom. I feel like my
Yes.
my rope has like gotten shorter and shorter each time I've planned something, and somebody has like bulldozed me with a truck. So like I might just
I
sit this
feel
one out.
that. Yeah. Do you ever, I might crop this, but do you ever like see information that pertains to your group about planning something, but no one else has seen it? So you just like buy, like, you just hold that to yourself?
Sometimes somebody will mention to me something in person, like, "Hey, we want to get the group together and do this thing this weekend." And I'm like, "Great, let's reach out to the group." And then that person will reach out to the group, and I'll slide in right behind to like get the conversation going and be like, "Yes." And then it's like dead silence, or it's like, "No, no, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that." And it's like, okay, well, that just like withered away. So screw that. Like, I'm done doing work for you all.
Okay, but who just replies no to
I
like,
guess the quality of friends that I have. So here's the example of this is like earlier in October, I was wanting to get together with like my college friends to go camping because the six of us hadn't gotten together since before we graduated, especially with like COVID. Like, so that was like a year of our time. And then like we just couldn't get our schedules to work this summer. Not my fault. Um, so
just want to put it
I
out
was
there.
talking to my friend and she was like, okay, I'm thinking this is the weekend. Now, mind you, she dates one of the other guys like in our friend group. So I'm like, okay, well, she's in, he is also in. And that's
Yeah,
three of
two
us.
people.
So that's half of the
Yep.
group already. So we should be able to make this work if we're planning a month in advance. So she texts in the group, I follow up with it, and then her fucking boyfriend comes in sliding like, I don't know if I can make that work. Like, mind you, like hours later. I'm like, did you two not talk about this beforehand? You live in the same house. You've been together for like a decade. Like, what do you mean you can't make this work? So that was the, and then everybody else just came in and was like, not sure I'll be able to make that, or I'll let you know. And then of course they didn't let you know.
It
And
just,
then
yeah,
and then I get
yeah.
a text like the week before, and it's the guy who had already said no, he couldn't do that week, and was like, "Hey, are you still planning on camping this weekend?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna go camping this weekend if the only people going
Yeah,
are me and
fuck
you."
you. Yeah, how
Yeah,
dare you?
yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, especially since he had blown off plans with me the weekend before. I'm like, no, I'm not like crawling back to you.
No,
You know what I did that
absolutely
weekend?
not.
Nothing.
Oh no. Oh no. So you held that, you held
Yes, I
strong
did.
and then you
I held
just
strong. No, no, you don't get to plan when I do stuff. We plan together.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, I can't even go into scheduling woes. I am T minus 7 days till I leave for Mexico, and plans are still up in the air. So
That feels on brand.
yeah, it really does. It really truly does. Okay, so I asked Nick like a big ask this week. I said, hey, this third movie of a trilogy called After We Fell is coming out. Like, have you heard of it? Can you watch all three movies in like 4 days? And like, honestly, you gave it like a college try.
I did. I feel like I like so for first of all, I thought it was a TV show because she goes, "Do you have time to watch the after series?" And I was like, "Well, what is it on? Like, what streaming service do I need to have? How many episodes is it? And what is the time commitment per episode?" And she goes, "Three movies." It's like, oh my God. Because something about me, I don't know if this is documented on the pod or not. I am not a movie person. I do
Yeah,
not
no,
have the
same.
time, the mental stamina to sit there for an hour and 45 minutes to watch movies,
No, no,
especially
no.
series. Like if I have to watch one movie before I watch another, like, oh.
Okay, but then why will I watch 10 episodes of one TV show in a row?
I will say I've also never considered myself like a good binge watcher, but I have been like missing out on traveling the last like few months, and I have been crushing the Amazing Race binge watch.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, I feel
Anyway, I
that.
digress. So Tori's like, watch this movie, and I'm like, okay, well now I need to prioritize finding 2 hours in my day to watch these movies instead of watching like 2.5 episodes of The Amazing Race. Great, let's figure out when I can do this. And like again, I have like plans. So like I'm in my bowling league on Tuesday nights because like I'm an old man.
Oh, yes,
And
yes,
I have
yes, yeah.
trivia on Thursday nights and then Survivors on Wednesday nights. So I'm like, when am I going to fit this into my schedule for all three movies? And then Tori drops the bomb that the third movie premiered last night. Like, when the hell am I going to have the time to watch the third movie? Like, am I going to like stay up from midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning and watch this? Because
I,
I know Tori
I
did.
did, Nick. Yeah, yeah. Commit to the pod, Nick. Yeah, I like how literally all my guests, I'm like, read this singular, like, People magazine article that takes 4 minutes to read. Nick comes on, I'm like, watch 9 hours of
So then
like,
she's like trying to explain the movie to me. And she sends me
okay.
a voice message, not even a message, a voice message. She's like, "So have you heard of Wattpad?" I'm sure you've heard of Wattpad, but in case you haven't heard of Wattpad, it's fan fiction. And this movie is based off fan fiction of a band that it no longer exists in One Direction and was published into a movie. And then she's giving me these statistics of how many people have read this thing. And I'm like, and the kicker to all of this is there was not one positive thing said about the movie. Like literally not a
No, it's trash.
positive thing. So like this is a
Yeah.
setup. And then she sent me a picture of like Dylan or Cole Sprouse in glasses. And I didn't see his ass in the movie at all, Tori. Not at all.
Because Nick, you didn't make it to the second one.
But I read the wiki. And I want to get to that. But I read the wiki. And I didn't
Okay.
see anything about a Dylan Sprouse.
Is it Cole?
I mean, Cole's the one with like the career, right?
Yeah, Cole is the one in Riverdale,
Oh wow,
and
the
Dylan.
acclaimed works.
Yes, yes. Surprised I'm not a big fan of that show. Like that seems right up my alley. But I just thought it was interesting because why did they put him in those dorky ass glasses? And why is his first movie back into Hollywood fucking after we collided? Like a
It's a
straight
sequel.
to Amazon
It's a
Prime
sequel.
sequel. Like
That's never good when
like
you're in the sequel, but you weren't in the original.
and he doesn't make it to movie 3. Spoiler alert.
Ugh, damn, can't watch it.
Yeah, it's so
I
bad.
finally get around to like watching this movie, and I guess Tori, do you want to like give like a background plot, or should I just jump in on my thoughts?
Okay, the background information I'll give before you share is that it was on Wattpad. And like, sorry, I didn't know you like. Do you read fanfic,
I
or you
haven't,
just know?
but
Okay,
I wanted
okay,
to read
neither.
this one.
Yeah, no, like
I needed to compare the script with the body of work.
yes, okay, yes. I kind of want to do that too because apparently, actually, in the real fanfic, it's every One Direction member. Like Harry's group of friends is like Liam and Zayn and stuff, but like in the movies, there's none of those people. So just some background knowledge because and this is a point I wanted to raise is it is such a popular franchise that they made 3 movies, but no one I know has heard of it or watched it. So I just wanted to clarify when I was explaining what the movie was that it was fanfic on Wattpad about the members of One Direction at Washington State University. Harry Styles was the main character, Hardin, I don't know his last name. And then instead of like music, he likes books. And then, yeah, all of his bandmates were like friends. The first few chapters were read 544 million times. Like, that probably rivals Harry Potter.
It does not. It can't. It cannot.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Harry Potter is probably like 3 billion. But like it's up there. So that I just wanted to like point that out because it's like literally no one's ever heard of this or dared to watch
The
it.
first one of these movies was in theaters, right?
Maybe I can't even remember. This last one was in theaters.
Oh,
Yes, yes. It came out in theaters September 30th. I don't know if it came to your city. I don't think it came to mine.
so
Like it was probably like select
once you
theaters.
started describing it to me, I realized that my sister had actually went and saw this movie in theaters with one of her friends because they used to do this thing where they like switch off movies, and her friend really wanted to go see this one because she's like
What a
a
queen.
directioner. Um, and I realized that my sister did not have so many complimentary things to say about it when she saw it. My question is, and this isn't even relevant to the movie, and I know this is probably not a popular opinion. Why the
Oh.
fuck did they choose Harry as the lead? Like that was the wrong choice. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, okay, this is controversial because Harry Styles
Mhm.
is like the most
Yes, I
famous.
mean like he's clearly the most talented, but he
Yeah.
should not have been the lead. No,
Why do you think that?
I think he's the least interesting.
Why? His backstory like working in the bakery with his
Okay,
like
but like okay,
nan and
but
shit
the
like
character in the movie was set up to
yeah.
be Zayn, right? Like he it was
Oh,
very Zayn.
yeah.
Everything
Yes,
that this person
yes.
wrote to me felt Zayn. And if you don't want to go the
Yeah,
Zayn route,
absolutely.
like the Irish guy, at least is that Niall? Okay,
Yeah.
like at least he has like that little like quirky part. I don't understand the logic of it being like Harry. Like to me, like the character of Harden in the movie felt much more like mysterious. Um, I think
Mhm.
he. I almost just dragged you. I'll save that for
Do
later.
it. Okay. Are you going to say a Pete
Yes,
Davidson drag?
I absolutely
Lay
was.
it on me.
Harden to me seems like he's your type because he's pretty slender and has like a tiny bit of muscle. To which you out of the blue brought up as Pete Davidson as your type, or at least that body type in the last episode, as somebody people found attractive. And I do not think that by and large people find Pete Davidson attractive. I don't even think that like the lead character in this movie was that attractive. Like he was fine.
Oh
Like he
my
wasn't
god.
objectively like he was fine. He didn't have anything. There was like here's what I learned about him. He's mysterious and
Okay.
he really enjoys having sex. That was the
Yes.
what I got from him as a movie. He's a little bit creepy, a lot of bit creepy, and
Yeah.
he is cultured and reads, which it shouldn't be like that cultured
Okay,
for a college
but
guy.
okay, but why is like being cultured just for like being from London?
Like, I feel like that was the only thing that him and Harry had in common. The accent. There was like to
Yeah.
me there was no Harry in that character. Did the person who write
Yeah.
the fanfic also write the script for the movie? Like I'm confused as to how
I
that
don't think
happened. Do I
so.
need to get into writing?
Yeah.
I feel like if that I could get
Yeah,
picked up out of
literally.
nowhere. And you could tell that the script they were using in movie one, it was like okay, a little bit of plot and then like it was like minutes of like kind of just no talking but like sensual touching and
Yes,
it felt like a
yes.
lot of like broken up pieces of like montages.
Yes, yes. Is that the female gaze?
What's that? Like the montage?
Well, like you know what the male gaze is, right?
I don't know if I know this phrase.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that this is so interesting. Okay, welcome to feminism 101. But okay, I'm going back to my gender studies 100 class here. This is going to be the most brutal definition of the male gaze. But basically the male gaze is seen in like media, so like movies, music videos, paintings, photographs, etc., usually depicting women in a way that appeals to heterosexual men.
Oh, I get it.
And usually it's like kind of like objectifying like either the not the muse, but like the person in the
Mhm.
painting, let's say, it's like it's there for the
Yes,
man's
enjoyment. Yes.
pleasure. Yes. Yes. And people are starting to, and it's kind of controversial if there is maybe like a female gaze, because a lot of things like from a woman's perspective is still like inherently tied to like, for example, the male gaze. So it's kind of still controversial. That was a bad way of explaining it. Just Google
I
it.
feel like what
Like
you're
you're not
saying
here for
is
the.
like, was this a movie made for girls?
Yes, because
Yes.
what and yes, okay. So like I think what they're saying for the female gaze in like movies is like a lot of like more like looks and like
Mhm.
glances and like you were saying like
But I feel like there
sensualness.
wasn't development of any character. Not only that, it was so unrealistic to what college life is like. Like her getting
Yeah.
paired as a freshman with like seniors in college. Like, no,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah, that was
no,
weird.
no parent would allow their child to go to a school if they could be randomly paired with a senior. Like, it's not gonna happen. The
Yeah.
way she made a friend so quickly, unrealistic. Like they were in the same
Was that
the
Landon?
sure,
Yes,
yes.
yes, the guy in her
Yeah,
class.
and they were like
Yes, yes. He gets
friends.
recast in movie 3, so
You drop the ball on a
yeah.
shitty role, man. That's just the end.
Okay, so my question for you, so like obviously, do you think this is like also really heavily off of Twilight?
In the
Like do you
sense
see
that,
Twilight parallels?
yeah, in the sense that Harden had a British accent and Edward Patterson did too. Robert Patterson.
Edward, no. Edward Cullen, Robert
I've actually
Pattinson.
never seen Twilight.
You
Nope.
haven't? Okay, maybe we should start a movie podcast together. I feel like I can come in with the male gaze definitions, and you can tell me about Edward Pattinson.
But like all of it was like the end of the first movie too, where they like walk out on the pier and he like touches her shoulder or whatever. Like, is that even
Oh
what happened?
yeah. Okay. Yes. I think that is like a directorial like little flair, because spoiler alert, in the third movie it ends in a kiss and a to be continued sign.
God. This is they're rivaling the Marvel franchise at this point.
It's so weird because it seems they only highlight the couple's like arguments, and then like when it gets good they just like end,
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, they're like making up. There's 6 minutes left in the movie.
the characters themselves, they don't say anything. It's just like you're
No, that
mysterious.
seems
And he
reminiscent
was
of
and he was
Twilight.
creepy as hell. Like the first time she meets him, he's laying in her bed and she's getting back. She's in a robe. She's in a
Edward.
robe. She's in a robe.
Yes,
So
yes,
she would wear
yes,
the robe.
yes.
Tessa wears the robe. Good to know.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like her mom is like, I'm gonna cut you off if you date this man. And then she's like, okay,
Also, mom, it just was the mom Selma Blair?
you act like I know who that is. Sorry.
Because I'm pretty sure the mom also just doesn't make it to the second or third one.
I hate the trope that they use to make them break up. Like
Mm-hmm.
that felt very like written by a middle schooler or high
Oh,
schooler
it's
fan fiction.
she's all that,
Yeah, it
like,
was
or he's all
there was a
that.
there was a dare. Like, are
Yeah.
you adults at this point? Even if there was, like he's clearly into you. Like, and the friend being like, every time they saw her, she was like, mm, mm. And she was like, why is she
Nick is
looking at
giving.
me weird? Ugh. And then she has like red hair. She's like, I'm like the Walmart version of Avril Lavigne, and I don't like people instead. It's like, have you
Okay.
seen this? And all her friends are like, Molly, no. And she's like,
I
playing a
can't,
video from that night.
I can't breathe. Okay, Nick, like, this is an audio only podcast. No one can see that you're doing like evil resting bitch face. Like, but yes, okay, but isn't this Twilight esque? Like, no conversations,
Bad
mysterious,
acting.
badass. I was gonna say badass. Not bad acting. And then like super innocent, like reads a lot
Yeah.
girl. Like, okay, Twilight.
I mean, it makes sense. Like there's clearly not much like originality in the story. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a fanfic. Yeah. It just reminded me, it was like Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey, which also was a fanfic, and then The
The
Directioners.
other part that I don't understand, like I truly don't get, is I'm assuming the fanfic was like Harry Styles and Was the girl like somebody who hung around with One Direction, or was she like a made up character? I'm assuming she was like an original character.
Yeah. Completely made
Okay,
up.
but if you're not even making the like One Direction people as like members of One Direction and they're like normal people, why don't you just write a real book? And I don't want to like sound like I'm throwing shade at like the fan fiction people because I'm not, but it's like you just use their likeliness
Their
and their
names.
names,
Yeah.
but they're not even
Yeah.
the real people.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay, two things. I think they also make the main girl character super bland because that is also a writing style where you make the character so generic that anyone can like impose themselves as the main character.
Mm.
And then the second thing is in the third movie, Hardin, which his name is Hardin, by the way. I thought it was Holden, but it's Hardin. He goes back to London with Tessa and he's like walking down the street and then there's like a crowd of people outside of a bar and they're like, it was a montage so you can't see what they're saying, but they're like, hey, oh my God, come for a drink, whatever. And I was like, oh, is this like the plot twist that he's actually famous in the UK and she didn't know? Because it seemed like he like bumped into fans and then it
That would
was
have been
just
a
a group
good
of friends.
twist.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, that makes sense. Maybe he was like had a failed career or like had a career in the UK and like something happened or something. But that's not what happened at
I'll
all.
also say, like, I did not watch After We Fell. Is that two?
After we collided, I don't know. After we fell, I think is the
Oh,
first
After We
one.
Collided was the second one. No,
Yes.
After is the first one.
Okay. Well then, oh no, I watched After We Fell last
We
night.
didn't. Anyway, I'll get to the other thing in a second. So I was like, let me pull up the Wikipedia page for this and read the plot summary so that I can act like I watched it. And do you know what is the beginning of the plot before they even get into what actually happened? It says on Wikipedia, there's like a note. This article's plot summary may be too long or excessively detailed, which is exactly like all of the shots in the montages of the first movie.
And then it says what? Then it's three
No, no,
sentences.
no. Then it's like 1 month after his breakup with Tessa Young,
Oh.
Hardin Scott meets an unknown man he rebuffs when he attempts to talk to him. Meanwhile, on her first day as an intern at Advanced Publishing, she shares an awkward encounter. So, and then it's like hours of reading.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's like the whole book. Okay. That's what I mean is there's like rabid fans. But then also no one has ever mentioned it to me IRL.
Because
Like
they would
no
be
one's listening to
embarrassed.
this episode.
They would be embarrassed.
People are gonna see that this episode was about the after movie series, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll just skip it because I have
Or
no
they'll be
idea what
like,
that
oh, Nick's
is."
there. Come in.
Yeah.
But nobody will do that either.
True.
Okay, so tell us about the third movie. What's your review? Better, worse?
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is I thought it came out like free on streaming services in Canada on October 21st or 22nd or something like that. So I'm like, oh, I need to watch this for the podcast tomorrow. So it's 11 p.m. and I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch it. So I like look and it's like all like rent, buy, like blah, blah, blah. And I was mistaken and you have to purchase it. The other two are free. So I paid $12.99 with like fucking taxes. It comes to $14.55. Like $15. As soon as I press purchase, which like makes me want to cry, it says purchased by accident question mark. Like that literally came up on the screen. And for 1 second I thought, yes, yes I did. I should click this. But no, I watched it. Okay, $15. I guess I like own it now and can watch it at any time, which like so you can watch it. I'll send you my credentials. But I was like, that's more expensive than the motherfucking movie theater. Like, I should have gone and watched this in person.
You should have bought a bottle of wine with that money instead and just called it a day.
You have no idea the amount of things I would rather have purchased with that $14.55 that I will never get back, as along with the hour and like 36
so
minutes.
now that you've done it, how much would be a fair price that you would pay to watch the movie?
$1.99.
So they charged you at 7 times the price.
Yeah, I might pay $4.99. I paid $4.99 to watch the Britney Spears documentary on Hulu, and like that was worthwhile. Like, anyways, it was just as bad as the first one. This one was so much more, and the second one. This one was so much more scattered. They referenced so many characters from the first two movies that just didn't appear in the third one. It ends on this cliffhanger, like I said. And yeah, it was bad all around. They're so toxic.
Can the hardcore fans of this movie series read the fan fiction and know what's to come? Or is it like the fan fictions come out with each movie?
Yes. So I wrote in the outline of this episode for Nick. Just big
I was like, ooh, what is, let me get myself
Yeah.
together. Big announcement.
Yes. Okay. I think it's time to drop the big announcement. This movie, this trilogy, is actually going to be 5 movies total. There is a prequel and another sequel
Prequel
coming.
for what? The boyfriend who was a loser in the first movie? God, he was such. Why is he telling her mom everything? I would have broken up with him over that. Like, oh, you're drinking, I'm disappointed in you. That was a toxic relationship asking to happen. She cut it off with him correctly. Could you imagine signing yourself on and being like, okay, I'm going to make like a quick buck with this trash movie, never think about it again. And then you get tied in for 5 movie series and you're like, oh my God. They must feel the way the Twilight people did.
I think that they actually don't, though. Because I agree, like the kissing booth, if you watch any of their press coverage, Jacob Elordi looks like he wants to end it all. Like in the press, like he's dead behind the eyes. I've seen clips of Hero and Josephine, because those are their names.
Like, who are these people?
And they seem like hyped about it, probably because that's like the only like stuff they're getting. Hero, his name is like Hero something something, but I just call him Hero Phineas and Ferb because I think it's like Hero Phineas and then
Ferb.
like his real last name. But I'm just like, it's clearly Ferb.
Well, then I can't wait for us to get back together after the whole series is released and realize what a masterpiece it was. They're gonna drop that bomb on us in the 5th movie. I wonder, has Harry Styles ever commented on this?
No.
Where's the hard-hitting reporters? When we get a Vogue interview with Harry Styles, and his intro will be like, he walked in holding oat milk
Yes.
with a spoon, and he was eating it like yogurt. And then we asked the big question, what is your thoughts on hard in and after? He stormed out. His golden orbs fell black. He slammed the door.
Okay, it's like, you're like, where's the hitting journalists? Hello, that could be me.
Yes, you need to shoot higher, Torry. Forget about the loser on the circle. Sorry if you're listening. Get Harry Styles. If I was a celebrity, I think that I would go on like, under the radar podcast and just like talk shit. But I'd make you introduce me as like Dari Hiles. So that like, people didn't know, but like we knew and your small supporting fan base knew.
Yeah, I like would say that, and I'm not just saying that because I am a small podcaster, but I just feel like there's so many good podcasts and they're all indie podcasts, and all of the big, most famous podcasts are like so boring and annoying.
And then they were like, okay, well, you want to add halfway through.
Yeah. Ugh, anyways. Nick, do you want to drag me with the Pete Davidson thing? Now's your chance. Otherwise, we're moving on.
I just think that, so I have given Torry probably nonstop shit for a year. Every time an opportunity presents itself, which Torry often provides that opportunity.
Yeah, unbeknownst to me.
Of her thinking that Pete Davidson is like one of the top 3 most attractive men on earth.
Okay, you always say this, and it's like, no, like top like 50.
It is documented on the podcast. He's like living rent free in your brain that you're like slender, built, muscular man. Pete Davidson, like out of context of nowhere. Like there was no filter, and you're like, let me just drop this in because he's on your brain. If you just scroll through Torry's like Twitter, like every so often there's something that pops up that's like Pete Davidson-y vibes, and I just don't understand why that is like the go-to. So I would have thought that you would
Yeah.
have been like, if Harden got some more tattoos, that's my man. Move out of the way, Tessa.
Yeah, well, if it minus his entire personality, like, like
Oh, he has
because
to be
he's also
goofy.
rich. Yeah, and rich. Like, we'll keep that aspect, but I think in my celebrity crushes, I feel like it's like the anti macho man, like artsy, mysterious. Like, I'm shipping Travis and Courtney.
Stop it.
Nick's covering his entire face.
I feel like Joe Jonas is kind of your vibe.
Yeah, deaf. Except for, okay, just a little side note, then we can really move on. Kevin Jonas on this tour, he's always been the troll of the Jonas brother family. He looks so good on this tour. I don't know what it is, if it's his clothes or his haircut or his stubble on his face, but holy shit. I was like, do I think Kevin is hotter than Nick and Joe right now?
I would say you probably do.
Yeah. And I need to stand in that truth.
We're here. It's your own podcast. It's a safe space.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
maybe Mexico will rejuvenate the taste.
Okay.
You need to do what those people were doing at the beginning of COVID, where they're like burning the orange and like eating it with brown sugar. That's what you need to do to get the taste back.
What?
For somebody who's on the internet all the time, you never saw that. See, this is because her
No.
algorithm is trash TV. Do you know how long it took me to get Torry to watch Ted Lasso? It was like years
A year.
of like sending
Yeah.
stuff to her and
Yeah.
like whack-a-mole. It was like whack-a-mole with Torry. Every time an opportunity presented itself, whack her over the head with Ted Lasso. I never really understood what gatekeeping was, but that is now me with Ted Lasso. Like I should have gate kept that for myself.
Oh, because it's getting a little bit of hate?
No, because there's
Oh,
all these
oh.
people who are watching it after like they watched like season
Two
1 and 2 back to
years.
back, and I've been here since day one writing hard for it, and now people are like asking me what I think about it. And I'm like, I haven't seen the episode yet because I have to fit it into my schedule, or people who
Yeah.
have opinions that I don't agree with. Like I should have kept that shit as an indie TV show for myself.
Yeah, I do. I will say it does lose it a little bit of its sheen when it like wins 27 Emmys and shit.
Mm.
No? Okay. I'm just
I mean, they
bitter.
deserve to win all of those Emmys, but now it's like, you know what? I'm like, what it is I'm the type of person, and this is like not a positive personality trait, who's like, okay, people are gonna talk about Marvel movies all the time. I don't want to see them out of spite, right? Like, do you know, like that,
I
like
don't want to see them at
phenomenon
all.
that like people talk about something, you're like, I'm gonna spite and not
Yes.
watch this. Like me with Squid Game right now, it's like everybody's talking about it. Like, I don't want.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping on the bandwagon late. Like I'm a day oneer or I'm a day knower. And now I'm like,
And I'm a
and
day
now I'm
knower.
like, I don't want to be that person who is like recommending Ted Lasso to people when all they hear is Ted Lasso, and now out of spite they don't want to watch it because they should want to watch it regardless of me telling them to or not.
No, that's true. But and you of all people know this, that I do not
Watch good TV.
in every other set. Yeah, no. No, I was going to say in every, like, I don't give in to peer pressure in the situations of TV shows because I still haven't watched Tiger King.
I haven't either. That was another example.
But I do feel like I am a spite person.
It's a pettiness.
I know. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, it's so much that I just, like Squid Game, I will eventually watch it, but it's like, we're so overloaded with Squid Game stuff. Like this Halloween is just going to be like all Squid Game. This is coming up before Halloween. If you have a Halloween costume and it's Squid Game, reconsider. But like I'll eventually watch it. Like I watched the TV show Pretty Smart.
Yeah, see, nobody's heard of that. Great.
Yeah, with Emily Osment from
she still has
Hannah
a
Montana.
career. Good for her.
She does, and like it was so bad, and it's like I watched it in one day. But you
so
know.
bad, and Tori's like, yeah.
Yeah. Like let's do
we
this.
don't have time to talk about it today, but we do need to circle back to our good friend Jeanette McCurdy in the iCarly.
Yes.
Um,
yes. I feel like we did her
revival.
dirty.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you're on that same page because I've had such a sick feeling in my stomach. Like ever since that episode was released. So okay. Okay, so I think one of actually Nick's first episodes, we did a game, and like I never do games on this
We got to bring in the little game
godforsaken
bell.
podcast. Yes, I know.
It's ready to be petty. The game.
Okay, one of the episodes Nick was on, it might have been your first one. I did a quiz with him about Torry slang because he was so thrown off when I used the word peppy mo, which means peppermint mocha if you live under a rock. And I tested him on a few other words and asked him what I thought they meant. So he tells me the pronunciation and then the definition. And we're going to play round 2 of that game today. Nick, are you ready?
I am as ready as I could ever be.
Okay. Here's your first word.
Hash babies. Hash babies mean don't speak right now.
Oh, like hash baby? Hash baby.
Sorry, what's the pronunciation?
Hash BBs.
What's the origin? Country of origin.
I don't know. It's a noun.
Like
I'll say yes, it is hash browns. Nice.
Question on hash browns. Do you like the circular small ones or like the potato oval?
The first one.
Oh, it's the small little circle browns.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you?
I think I'm like a tried and true McDonald's hash brown. Give me that like potato oval.
Okay.
That is easily the best thing McDonald's has.
Okay. Coming in with like more hot takes. Holy shit. It's def not, but okay. Okay, here's your second word.
G. It's just literally just lowercase letter G. Does it mean like gangster? That's too easy. G, like that, like this. That's what I'm doing right now is putting my finger over my upper lip where my mustache is, and I'm like curling it around. Does that mean like, oh?
Ooh, no.
What is? Give me a hint.
It is a common phrase that you say probably like once a day.
Good. I'm G. I'm good.
No, it means good night. G. So, my freshman roommate in college, in 2010,
my
abbreviated. Yeah, oh my God, stop. She is such a queen, like icon status. She abbreviated the word bye to B. So whenever she'd leave our room, she'd just be like, B, which I was obsessed with, obviously. So I started saying G for good night.
Talk about like soulmate, freshman year roommate.
Okay, she was actually a nightmare. I hope you're not listening to this. But...
Who would have thought the girl who abbreviated a 3-letter word to 1 letter was a nightmare? Who could have seen that coming?
Yes. She had a tattoo on the back of her neck that said one lobe because it was supposed to say one love, but the tattoo artist messed up.
No regrets. Not even a letter.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know this happened IRL.
My freshman year roommate was a nightmare who played Pokemon before Pokemon Go was even a thing on his laptop. And one time, one of my like college friends like called him out for why he was sitting in front of the TV, and he like slow turned around like somebody from a horror movie and was like, "Well, first of all, it's mine." And I was like, "Okay, let's get macaroni bowls and scram. Let's go." And that was the end of us hanging out in my room.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I feel like everyone, like no one had a good freshman roommate.
Except for the people that respond to you, "Oh my God, I love my freshman year roommate. We fell in love."
Yeah. Or it's like we were the good freshman roommate. Okay, here's the second word.
Third word. Counting is a struggle here.
This is it.
Wait, is G again?
Yes. It has dual meaning. They are related, though.
Goodbye.
They are related.
Nope, because goodbye would be GB. Is it good morning? Is it like, do I have to use context clues to figure out which one you mean? Is it guacamole? Does it start
No.
with a G?
No. Okay, I'll just answer it. It means to sleep.
Okay, I'm going to
So I
G.
have, yeah. Yeah. Like my sister's dog I was with last weekend, and I was like, oh, you're going to G. Are you
Who is
G?
allowing you to get away with this?
I have no fucking idea. Okay, here's the next one. It's also related.
G. G. Okay, for those of you at home, it's G dash ing. G-ing. That mean like sleeping? I'm
Yes,
G-ing.
yes. I had to give you a
Gambit.
win. Yeah, I had to raise the morale. Yes, sleeping. So if you're gonna go G, you're Gene.
Shall. Shall. That's like chalant. Is chalant a word or is it just nonchalant? Or is chow? Is it like challenge?
It is.
Yes.
Yes, I've been seeing this a lot watching the new season of Survivor. They're competing in a
A
chow.
chow. I like that one. That's like
Yeah.
chic. It's like posh.
You can start saying that now.
Chow. They're having a
Chow.
chow.
Okay, this might be the last one or the second last one.
Titty.
I'm gonna bleep that.
It is a TT. Not Is it tie tie? Tie tie.
Yes.
Tie tie.
Yes. Yeah. These are all kind of related. That's a hint. I
That
guess
like tonight,
to
tonight,
G.
tonight,
No.
tonight. Oh, not a Hot Shell Ray fan. Is it like? I have no clue what this one means.
Tired.
Oh my god! How did I miss that one? Tie tie.
You can tell like in my family we love to sleep. We're tired body people,
And
as my
that's
sister
why
would
you're
say.
so late to everything.
Yes, yes. You're not wrong. Okay, I think this is officially the last one. Let's see if we can end on a high note.
Mom. Does it mean mom? Or is it like mourning over men?
Yeah. I can get behind that.
What is it? Give me a hint.
Mom.
Like a moment. A
Yes.
moment like this.
Like this, some
But have you seen
people.
that video of Kelly Clarkson singing a moment like this after she's crowned American Idol winner? And one of the
Yes.
losers grabs the mic and just butchers that final note. You
No.
because Kelly Clarkson like
Just
gets with
wait.
them
I watched this
and
live.
well, she like wins and they have her like sing like her crowning moment song and she's like a mess, like crying and she's like trying to sing.
Yes,
And
I
all
remember
the
all
losers
that.
rush the stage during the first chorus and she's like, let's all sing it together because it's our moment. And like one of the other girls like grabs the mic and is like, a moment like this.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay, I do not remember
As
that, but
seen
I'm
on
gonna look it up
YouTube.
on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. You know I'm a big American Idol head, so
Yeah, Fantasia Barrino, season 8 winner. Right.
love
So our
her.
next word or our final word? Show
Yes.
show
Real final word.
shows how. Is it show or shows how?
It's neither.
Shoo show wow wow. Bow chicka wow wow. That's what my baby says. What is the pronunciation?
Shao
Bow
shao.
chow. Country of origin. Is there a Latin root?
It's something you do every
Oh, it's a
single day.
shower. Okay,
Yes.
so for those of
Yes.
you at home, chow is an 8-letter word. Shower is a 6-letter word. So I don't know if this one falls under the Torry abbreviations or if it falls under Torry elongation. And I think that this is the latter.
Yeah, like Avi Dog Kit Kat Bar.
Avi Dog Kit Kat Bar, yes. Elongations with Torry. Can't wait for the first dictionary to come out as like your merch line.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
See, I can be your branding ambassador
Yes.
here.
Oh, please do. Like I it's clearly I don't do anything on my own. I would love that. That's such a good merch item. Or do people want that?
Let her know in the
Like
comments.
what? Yes. Okay, we're gonna wrap up with a This Week in Petty. Nick, what have you been petty about this week?
Okay, so you know how like earlier on in the episode I talked about like making plans with friends? So a few weeks ago, we had one of my other friends' birthday parties, and it was like there was 2 weeks that we had to choose from, and same group of friends as earlier who had ruined the camping plans said that they needed to be able to have the birthday party a certain weekend for them to make attendance. And I was like, that
Okay.
actually does not work for my schedule. Like, it works, I can make it work. I would have preferred the other option of the weekend because my friend's birthday fell in the middle of the week. So, anyway, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a brat. I feel like I want them to be there. So let's make sure that we can accommodate for them because I knew I would complain if they didn't show up in general. So I was like, let's make sure that they come. They canceled. So now we have all arranged our plans using their suggestions of place to go for this person's birthday, and they bailed last minute. So
Just wait, the birthday person?
no, no, no. The
Okay, thank
birth,
God.
yeah,
Oh
no.
my
Can you
God.
imagine? No, the birthday person was trying to figure out like what we wanted to do for their birthday, and the other people
Hmm.
here in the equation were giving suggestions of where we could go for the birthday. Never at one point saying they couldn't come. They like liked the text message saying that they could go. The reservations for brunch were made with two extra people in charge, and they did not text until like an hour before brunch that they weren't going to be able to make it. So I was like, do they not understand that we picked this weekend for their benefit? So I was wicked salty about it. And I was like, I want to know why they missed it. Like, there is not, like, I want to be like shady about like why they missed it. So a few days later, one of them posted something on their Instagram story. And I was like, you know what? I can slide in right now. So I slid in, taking advantage, sent the thing about the story, and then I followed up with like immediate back of, oh my God, totally missed you guys this weekend. Hope everything's okay. Did I care if things were okay? No. No.
No.
I cared about you explaining to me why you missed the weekend event that you had agreed to be going to, that we had planned around your schedule. And now I want an explanation for why you missed it. So, no, that's what I'm looking for here. And she responded and she was like, oh yeah, just a long drive down. Weren't sure if we could afford it. So we decided not to go. So I was like, I don't know if that's a valid excuse because like this is the type of friend group that says like if you're short for money, like we would have pitched in to make sure that you could come. Second of
Oh my
all,
God.
I am attending your birthday party this weekend. The same group of people are attending your birthday party this weekend, and you couldn't drive down the other way for somebody else's birthday party. So I was like salty as all hell about it because I was like, something about me. I hate flaky people. Like that is like my like biggest pet peeve is like it is totally
Nick. I'm a flaky person.
sorry. If you need to cancel on like an event, that's fine. Like if you need to say like I can't go for like these reasons or if it like happens like
Hmm.
every so often, but like it gets to the point where it's like okay, you're not flaking on the event. You are not attending the event because it does not like give you like a specific benefit to be attending that event. And that's not what friendship is, right? Like that's not what it's about. So I was salty as hell and I was like, I need an excuse. I need a reason for why you couldn't make it. And I'm not going to sit here and just act like it's fine. So I was shady about it. And then this past week, we have a Halloween party planned for next weekend. And the two of them said they couldn't come because they need to hand out candy on Saturday night, October 30th. So I was like, okay.
That's
And
fake.
then there was
Okay.
some situations going on with like the planning. And I texted back in the group. I was like, hey, why don't we talk about that this weekend with people who are actually going to go? Trying to be shady about the fact that like these people who aren't going don't talk. So I've been salty about that for a while, and I don't know if that necessarily follows like this week in petty, but it follows this week's in Nick's managing of frustrations.
I feel like you were sent by my IRL friends to have a low key intervention with me. No, like me being late is poor time
Well, that's
management.
everybody.
Yeah. But me being a flake maybe is legitimate. But this is, and like when you're like with your friends and it's like they liked the message but didn't say anything and stuff, I was like, oh
Yep.
God. Like, I was like, how dare they? Like, Who would do such a thing?
So Tori, we're gonna work on that.
But I totally get it. Especially when the person, and like sometimes I do have the audacity to do this, but when you suggest like the time, the place, the location, the activity, the dress code, and then you're like,
Yes.
deuces, like you'll never hear from me for like 6 weeks.
Or I'm somebody who is extremely cheap. Like I don't like spending money on things. Now, mind you, if there's something that I feel is important, I will spend money on.
Yes,
So if like for
of
instance, we're
course.
planning to do something and because we're going away for the weekend, it requires us to get a hotel room for one night. If you are agreeing to that plan, then we are dividing the hotel room by X
Yeah,
amount of
by like
people.
10 or
When you
whatever.
pull
Yeah.
out after you agree, it screws people over in that sense, and that's not cool. That's not good friendship 101.
Yes, yes. I wouldn't do something like that. And trust me again, like I said, I feel you. I totally feel
My
you.
other this week in petty, because I feel like I need to share it, because that was just me like unloading on you. Speaking of which, have you seen that
I love it.
that like psychiatrist or this therapist TikTok where she's like, "Don't trauma dump on your therapist"?
Yeah, I was like, isn't that
No,
counseling?
no,
like
no. I will
yeah.
be doing that to you, Tori, and the fellow listeners. The more fun this week in petty is one of my friends from like way back on early in the summer owed me like $75. Well, actually, one of my sister's friends owed me
Oh,
$75.
yes. This is a story I've been invested in for like 6 months.
I wish I had the emotion for it still so I could be like truly angry about it. But this girl swerved me every step of the way, like texting. I think she blocked my number and then just pretended she lost her phone.
Snapchat.
Snapchat wasn't opening the messages, but she has her Snap Maps on, and I can see when she was active on Snapchat. Like, okay, you were active 2 minutes ago, but I sent this Snapchat message you haven't opened 4 days ago. Interesting, very interesting. Instagram messaging, silence. I was like,
Yeah, it's
I
like
was about
everyone's on
to go like
Instagram.
full like bitch mode and like tag her on Twitter. So finally, I was like, okay, she's not responding. I'm gonna go take a screenshot of our Snapchat thread and send it to her and be like, "Are you getting these messages? Like, let me give you the benefit of the doubt." And I
Are you
and I
alive?
took this a screenshot of the Snapchat messages, and within 30 seconds, she was back responding to me, apologizing for why she hadn't paid me and asking for more time. So she asked for another week till she got paid, and I was like, "That's fine. I don't need the money right now. I just need to be communicated about the situation." A week comes and goes, no money. I'm about to show up at this girl's house. I know where she lives. I know her parents. I can get this money because I would never do that to somebody. Like I would never do that to somebody. I was like calling like,
Yeah,
how long would it take
yeah.
you to pay back like a friend sibling? Like I feel like at most a week is fair. I feel like that's kind of still a little bit long, but like at most a week is fair.
Yeah, I'm like 3 days.
And it had been like a whole ass a month. So when she finally paid me back and she paid me $80 and she was like, for your troubles. I Venmoed her $5 back because I didn't want her to think that she got off scot free. No, I was not going to say like this is an apology. I want you to know that this is not okay behavior. I think I had messaged her after she messaged me back saying sorry she didn't respond to me. Be better.
Okay, yes, oh my god, you did send her the be better text, which was like literally so scathing. Didn't you at one point Venmo request her?
Yes, I did, and she left it in there. She left
Yeah,
it in her like,
yeah.
and I saw her Venmoing other people for like steak and stuff. Like you're gonna buy like a fifty
Okay.
dollar steak that you can't Venmo me back for karaoke and alcohol.
Okay, I have two things to say. First, we don't have Venmo in
It's such a
Canada.
pain.
We just have like e-transfer, which it's like it's fine, but Venmo would be so much easier. Plus, I would love to go through people's public
So I
Venmos.
actually every so often on Venmo, just like keep people on their toes, I'll like their little like status of like,
Oh, you know I would be doing
and it's like one of
that.
my or like I'll comment on things like an avocado emoji or something. And the other day I was actually like in line at Dunkin' Donuts, like waiting for my car to get pulled up, and I wanted to see how much money I had left on my Dunkin's or on my Venmo card to see if I could use it. And I was like, let me like go through some of these. And I liked one of my friend's Venmos, and she had like wrote like I accidentally paid you instead of requested you. So I was like, let me like that and keep them on their toes. It was from like a few days ago. And within literal seconds, I get a text from this girl and she's like, My roommate just asked why you liked her Venmo transaction. It's my
It's
favorite thing to
so
do.
funny.
It's
I
so
want to do it
creepy.
so bad. I want to like decode the like emoji, like burrito running man, like, I
Okay,
don't
Tori,
know.
the next time that I'm on this pod and we're playing a game, I will
Yeah.
prepare a Venmo transaction emoji game. And that's what
Okay,
we're gonna
okay. I
do.
love that. I love that. Okay, that's super fun. Also, why I want Venmo is it literally spoiled a season of The
I
Bachelor a
know.
few seasons ago, which was iconic. Or the second thing I want to say about your story is I fucking love, like, nothing gets me more excited than taking the higher road in a situation that is actually the lower road.
Yes.
But to have like moral high ground above someone in a situation, but you're really being the petty bitch, like, oh, that is just, but you can't prove it because it's like, oh no, you just accidentally owed me an extra $5. Like, I'm just returning that. But like in your head, you're like, fuck you. You know what you did. I'm this like innocent angel and you are the devil for not
It
paying me
is
back.
truly like a chef's kiss moment. And I love that you put it like that because I've never thought about it as like I am like on the higher level, but I'm taking the lower road, but you don't know that I'm taking the lower road, or at least you can't say that I am.
No, you could never point it out, but like clear as day. Like,
Love that. That is an amazing note to end on because I think that we all should strive to be like that in our life. Like we take something away from Ready to Be Petty, it's never be outwardly petty.
no, 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 no. You do everything in secret. Yeah, so people can never accuse you of actually being petty. Nick, thank you so much for coming on. It was a blast as always. Do you want to share where the listeners can find you on socials? I feel like there's going to be some backlash from the after series
I know
fans.
they'll be coming. But they can find me in the same place as always, which is Drinky11 on the Instagram. I'm still being petty against Instagram and haven't used it in almost, I think, like
Same,
over
same.
3 years at this point. We'll have to do an episode where we decide to like just go for it together.
Yes, okay, that might be coming in November after Mexico. So get prepped now.
And at Nick underscore Drinkwater on the Twitter. You can also find me in the comment section responding to you. Perhaps.
Yes, yes, yes. Love that. We love that. Thanks again for listening. And thank you so much, Nick, for joining us for this week's episode. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at RTBP Podcast. I am doing my 3rd-year anniversary clip show. If you have any favorite moments, maybe, I don't know, one from this episode, DM me. I'm sure Nick's going to make the list, but DM me and I'll include it in that episode. I hope you're safe and healthy out there. As always, I'm your host, Torry, and I am ready to be petty. See you soon. Bye.